everybody, and welcome back to the Amazon EU Masters. Apologies about the extended break. I have a little bit of an update of what's been going on. It's a bit of good news and bad news, as I was told, and I think that's fairly fit to kind of describe the situation. So there was an issue. A chrono break was needed to be used, hence why the extended break. The chrono break was successful. However, we have missed the first 6 minutes of the game, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get that back. I don't know what's happened in the first 6 minutes. So in a couple minutes' time, we'll get into the game. We are just waiting for the delay to tick over. So a little bit more time for me and Dagda to talk, but I wonder, maybe we should make predictions on what happened in the first 6 minutes.
This is like, what's the dessert where it's like, you have to try and figure out if it's like crispy enough on top or if it's just broken. Is it creme brulee? Where it's like, all right, you gotta cook. It's like, we're gonna basically take this thing out of the oven, and we could find out that it has gone disastrously. There's like 7 kills on one side, where 4K go behind already. The whole game is broken up, and that's it. Or this could come out nice and peacefully, and we're like, oh, you know, this was gorgeous. The problem is, we spent the entire pre-game going, this game is gonna be bonkers in the early game. Rek'Sai on one side, this and the other, and now we're like, yeah, we don't have an early game.
Totally missed it. I as much as like it'd be awful, I kind of hope nothing happened in the early game. Yeah. Just so we didn't miss anything. It was just 6 minutes of farming. I do think we might have missed a couple of kills go over. I'm gonna make a bold claim that Ragner has killed Chasy. Oh, but I think I'm gonna say that both bot lanes are relatively stable. I think maybe there's been some ganks down there that might have forced some summoner spells, but I think they're probably stable. That's my bold claim, but Ragnar has solo killed Chasy, or had a kill on Chasy to a gank. I think mid's mid. Like, it's Swain versus Varus, so don't expect a lot there.
I'm not going to lie, I've forgotten what the jungler was in LDLC. What was the champion? Like, it's been a while.
Oh, God, it's not Sejuani. It was... Who the hell was it?
I can't remember.
Viego,
yeah.
Yes.
I could see it where X7 tried to make a gank happen bot. Viego showed up to turn it around, and Kalista has a kill. Or one of them has a kill on bot side. But summoner spells galore are blown. I can see that happening.
I don't want to say, oh, we're going to go in an NLC of like 8 kills, because I know I'll just curse this immediately, and that's not what's happened. So I'm gonna err on your side, and I'm gonna low key curse LDLC. I'm gonna say, yeah, LDLC are winning this game really hard right now.
Yeah, 20,000 gold lead, 6 minutes in. Yeah. They've already got Baron.
Every lane's over. Somehow the Viego solo killed the Swain. Not Viego, the Varus solo killed the Swain. Yeah, I think genuinely, it's not a bold claim to say that mid's probably just a bit of a farm fest. Unless like I totally missed something about this lane, but I feel like there's not really too much kill threat because Varus just sits at range and pokes Swain, and Swain can't ever really get in range to kill him.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is like for X7, you at least have a decent amount of opportunities to try and play through your mid and boss. Like if you can land the pull, the never move from the Swain, or Rek'Sai manages to sneak in behind the Varus, blow an early summoner spell, maybe you have a chance. But I think it does become a little bit difficult if you're not able to try and find some creative pathing in. And Varus, in all fairness, should have a decent amount of push in that lane too. So I think he should be relatively okay as the Varus in that lane. I think the real question is like, how does that end up being a contentious point then for the bot side? Because I feel like, again, that's where this Rek'Sai wants to go. You're playing on the red side, which means you have a couple of like avenues to try and go for, like, hey, maybe I'll go from Dragon Pit into Tribush, right? Try and go for some of these creative angles, or maybe try to wrap around in behind them. I think that's where it's going to be a question to see, like, how well can we get these ganks? Because again, we talked about, like, you've got decent scaling coming through with the AP Varus and the Viego to try and look for later fights as LDLC. So X7 kind of need to get the ball rolling a bit early.
So I have a bit of information. LDLC did go for a late invade. They were spotted on the blue buff. Both junglers contested, and the Nami did go down. Flashes were burnt, but overall, it's just a 1-for-1 so far.
Let's go!
Viking did get himself a kill.
Hold on.
We're actually going immediately into some action as Tempt has burnt the ult and the ghost as he's jumped onto Eika. Eika's losing a lot of health here, but the arrow can do a lot of damage to Tempt. The flash comes down. Yike finds the kill.
That was so well played by LDLC. Tempt thought he was going to have the turnaround, getting a ton of damage back around, but one step too far, and LDLC will get another kill in their back pocket.
Really rough time for us to come in as mid goes down. The one lane where I said nothing was going to happen, I immediately cursed it, and Tempt goes down. Looks like the invade's going to be Yike's prize, although Viking, you know, has himself a kill as well. Serrated, maybe hunting for Viking, but it's just going to blast cone over and might actually look for a little something on the top side of the map. Hasn't been spotted out yet, and Ragner needs to be careful. Has got that level 6 though, so it is a bit scary. It's a little bit hairy. Viking will spot out Yike and has got Tempt coming about in the area, looking for him. Unable to find the knock-up as Chasy's still going to find the own knock-up. CC'd for days. Viking will get revenge and Yike will fall down.
Great pinch from X7, and kind of surprised to see that Yike fell for that. Had a ward in beside the Raptor pit to spot out where Viking was, so at least I think should have known that he was in that topside jungle, and then should have been able to go, okay, I can like move away from this, but ends up running face first into Rek'Sai and giving a kill across.
Attila's been a little zoned off. There's a 500 gold lead to Exakick, so X7 haven't got that like massive colossal lead they started last game with, well, the last time they played this lane, but you know, there is still that Gale Force and the Mandate Spike that you talked about last time, and that's when you're able to like one-shot someone. And because of the positioning of LDLC, they do need to be careful that Viking can go for that very long gank over the wall and wrap around behind them. Meanwhile, Tempt is looking for Chasy. Eika is going to find a kill as Chasy comes in, finds him and runs him over, and a 1-for-1. But Exakick and Doss are now here. Chasy has no flash. Chasy's on the run. Maybe he can get away thanks to Viking. Viking will come through as a potential zoning opportunity as Chasy's just trying to give him the slip. Is just going to run away underneath the tower. He's actually bolting towards Kasing. Searing charges, takes a couple of tower shots back into the waiting hands of Kasing. And Chasy played that well.
Yeah, managed to give him the, kind of a bit of a wraparound there, make sure that they're not getting into a position where they're uncomfortable, and he manages to get away with it. So Exakick and Doss invest a lot of time in towards mid, and no. Exakick might go down.
Oh no, he's in trouble. Viking has the ult. Doesn't even need to fire it off. Down goes Exakick, and Attila just got free time bot lane, able to shove the wave in. Exakick's losing out now.
Exakick is losing out massively. That's a huge wave. That's why we're seeing Eika move down here to try and collect it, and as well getting a little bit of damage onto the turret. So nice job from X7, and this is what we're kind of saying. This is a fight, or game where we're going to see a lot of action in the early stages, and Tempt has kind of been the focus thus far. Good return kill from Eika. Chasy able to follow up, but here you can see Vikings like, hang on, there's problems in mid, get the hell out of there. That Spidey sense coming in very big, and Chasy knows that Sejuani is going to be coming down, so make sure he just wraps back around, has the safety of his team on the bot side, and gets on out of there.
Really nice play there by Chasy, though. Just able to slip away. While we were in this replay, we do see that Yike is able to pick up the Rift Herald for the side of LDLC. So they will have that to use, and question for me is, where are they going to go throw that down? There's already 2 plates down on that top side of the map. Mid and bot haven't been touched yet, so could look to just try and inject some gold into Eika or into Exakick. We're already seeing a lot of burst potential coming out of Eika, and you know, he hasn't even finished up his first item yet, so maybe we'll see a little bit of attention into him just to give him a little bit more gold, as Attila now able to shove in a wave into Exakick's face and move over and just get some vision. Maybe X7 can turn their attention towards this dragon soon.
Yeah, the big one is, you know, the fact that Viking has 3 kills. He's been very much accelerated, but with some of the kills going back over in favor of Yike, also just being able to pick up some of the Rift Child and that, he has matched a lot.
Oh, Tempt, you can ghost, but you can't flash that in time. Just a lovely 4-man, and honestly, Ragner's Sejuani is just a massive weak point for LDLC. Sorry, for X7. as they just can't seem to answer this. He's constantly finding key targets in the last 2 games where he's played this versus X7 and being able to do so much work to them. DOS is going to lose a lot of health here, actually. Might just go down if they find a bit more CC. Are able to chase it down. Chasy pops the ultimate. Eika ghosts, and Chasy's quite happy to use that as the Rift Herald goes down on the top side. Will take a tower here for the side of LDLC, and odds are it's going to get a second charge because nobody on X7 is going to rotate over to deal with this. Finally, Tempt realizes it, and yeah, it's too late. The charge goes down. X7 will answer out with a dragon for themselves.
It's been very messy in these early stages, but LDLC are coming out when it comes towards that map play. We're getting the Rift Herald coming down. They've realized they've overcommitted members on X7 to the mid lane, so they get a second charge on top side. X7, yes, will get the dragon, but they're not actually answering for plates on the bot side. You're even going to get the reset coming through from both Yike and Ragner by the time this wave crashes, so Exakick won't lose out on the wave, doesn't have to worry about being dove because he knows he's going to have the help of his team there. So that's why we're seeing this small gold lead start to open up for LDLC. They've just been doing a great job in the lanes, you know, moving Ragnar down to match what has been some of the pressure Chasy's put there, and just Eika honestly outplaying Tempt at times as well.
Yeah, no, Eika has been playing very, very well into this Swain matchup, and the lane that I said was going to be quiet is 0-3 right now. Tempt not having the best time right now on this Swain, and yes, that is partially due to the fact that they have put a lot of attention in, and Eika now has to be careful. He's going to be annihilated. Yike comes in, the Heartbreaker into the bubble, and all of a sudden X7 find themselves a double kill onto Tempt. Mid turns out to be a fiesta of action and not a quiet lane.
Kasing's Nami continues to impress with that bubble, predicting the engage from Yike, and now they are going to be forced to back away in this bot side as Chasy has managed to make his way here. Big wave being lost by X7 on the top side, but that was much needed to get some gold back in their favor, and just a really good job. Gale forces in, gets the slow with the autos. Eika has no flash to get away, but there you go. Heartbreaker straight into the bubble. Great predict from Kasing, and Attila having that flash to escape away as well.
Lovely couple of kills given over. Yes, it's not Attila catching in on all those kills, but he's got the Gale Force. You know, that mandate's not even finished for Kasing. It's a bit of a ways off before that even comes in, so don't expect to see that kind of, like, quote-unquote spike from this lane actually coming quite yet. Got a little bit of time on that one. As X7 just quite happily rotated Attila and Kasing into this mid lane, because Eika spinning maybe a little bit too much for Tempt to handle, but now Attila has to be careful. He is cleanseless. Good forward thinking there. Places that blue and just spots out the members waiting in the bush. Viking's going to tunnel over the wall, catch them out. Chasy finds himself caught off for the moment, tries to charge away. Viking slides in. Exakick is going to go down. Chasy will be next to follow. The chains go wide, and they're not going to do quite enough damage. Kasing's able to tank this out from out, but Viking is shut down, taken out by Yike, who's stolen away his form, and it is just going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of the side of LDLC. They do get the bubble, they do get the tidal wave to follow as Attila remains untouched and is able to do quite a lot of damage here as Ragner does look to get the damage onto Attila. Attila dodges away. Look at the bubbles and the claws. Tempt is redeeming himself for the previous game. That's going to be one for Attila. He looks for DOS. He finds a double. They're going to secure another one as Kasing shuts it down. Eika just has to dodge away from one more bubble, able to do so. X7 coming alive right now.
But LDLC are on the hunt once more. Eika thinking to go in with the flash, but will just back away. X7 waking up in this game, closing this gold gap and finding advantages with the numbers disadvantage.
I need to see that fight again, because that was phenomenal stuff coming in. The amount of bubbles coming in for Kasing, we praised him on that last game we watched him play on this Nami. He was so crisp on it.
Here, though, is where we get the overextension from X7. Viking murders Exakick, completely deletes him, but they then overextend here. Attila gets zoned off thanks to Eika's poke. He can't really try to follow up on this. Also, just by how easy it would be for Ragnar and DOS to engage onto the Lucian, so they're forced to back away. But here we'll see it. It takes a little bit of time, but the pull into the bubble gets the Heartbreaker out, which makes Yike way less strong in this fight. He was not going to be able to just land in with that Heartbreaker, and then X7 just doing a great job of using this front line in Tempt, still having access to these big ultimates, and Tempt just about going gold at the right time. The heal coming through from Kasing at the last second sets up beautifully for X7 to turn the fight.
that looked like such a done fight for X7 as well, and they just absolutely make it work. Kasing's now got the mandate finished up as well, so the spike is here. Got the zeal as well. I'm building towards that rapid fire cannon here for Attila. No more plates on the map, but Tempt, who was 0-3 not a few moments ago, is now 3-3 and has definitely redeemed himself. And looks like he's also going for his own mandate with this build, and actually kind of going away from the build we saw last time where he went Leandres, because this time there isn't a lack of damage. Viking is strong, he's capable of damage. Attila, very, very strong as well, so he can go for this more kind of this build that we wanted to see out of him last time, because the damage is not lacking for X7 and they are making it stick.
And again, you're seeing Attila looking great on the Lucian. The fact that you're getting these double Imperial mandates means he's going to have a field day. His burst damage is going to be coming to an all-time high. You're going to be able to set up for guys like Viking as well to try and take on a new lease of life when it comes to his burst damage as well. X7 trying to see if they can get maybe the damage, but the charge should go off. The tower will barely stand, but a stiff breeze will take that one over.
A slight fart will blow that one over, mate. Very, very low, but they are to hold it, so it does give them a little bit of power in the mid for now. And solid hold from them. They're going to turn their attention towards this dragon, and X7 looking towards their second dragon of the game. Yes, they've given up 2 Rift Heralds, but the 2 dragons sets them up for potentially good win condition in the soul. We'll see what the soul will be. Is going to be a Cloud Drake as well, which is actually going to be very nice for the likes of Tempt. He's going to be very speedy around with it. Obviously, Attila's going to be, he's not going to scoff at the extra movement speed as well, able to avoid away from the likes of Ragner.
Yeah, I think you've got a lot of like the slow resist going to be coming in huge. That's going to be such a massive difference maker, and especially when you're looking at X7 as well, who want to try and play through these early objectives and early to mid game. The opportunity to start moving around with that out of combat movement speed is going to make things a hell of a lot easier. Like maybe get to see a little bit now as Tempt considering going for a bit more here.
Oh, Viking looking for it. Has that Prowler's Claw and Flash in a moment. Isn't gonna pop either of those for a fight he's not ready for. As Exakick is just gonna get chunked out by the Gale Force, pops the shield bow, and and Attila, he lost nothing for that. Yeah, sure, he used his ult, but like, oh well. He just forced everything out from Exakick, including the heal.
And that's the power of this Imperial Mandate with Attila here. Now we get the engage. Eika!
Oh, Eika, he has to flash away. Is going to be able to survive another day, but man, that is scary.
And X7 just find that window, right? They get onto Exakick, Ragner pushing in bot side, and they say, right, we're going to pull the trigger. So at least now, when this wave comes and the mid lane tower will fall, inevitably, it still means that you've already matched that tip for top here. So it will be still a slight tower advantage to LDLC when that mid lane tower, when the mid lane tower falls, though I think our scoreboard at the top is bugged. They don't have 2. There's still 1 standing, so.
It's very close scoreboard, I can understand. You just got confused.
But I think that the big thing here is, like, how do we start to see this being pushed forward, right? Because we're looking at, for the moment, Exakick pushing inside, but I think the best bet for X7 is having Chasy kind of push these waves out. Same when you look towards Tempt on the side lane. Try and get members of LDLC drawn around the map. And once they start to show, cool, have Viking move up for a potential dive. Like Tempt and Chasy, very tanky at the moment, can both survive a lot of damage underneath these structures. Viking has a ton of burst damage. Look for isolated members in that regard. See if you can start to push in. Look now with X7, like getting vision control for in this topside jungle, allowing Tempt to start whittling away at this top lane turret. Whereas I feel like for LDLC, it's trying to see if you can wait for these next few objectives to come up, get one more item on towards Eika, and find those big team fights where Exakick and Eika can demolish people using all the stacks that they have.
And the big thing to note is these item spikes are coming in. The Mandate and the Crystal Scepter finished up on Tempt. The Mandate finished up on Kasing. You've got the Rapid Fire Gale Force onto Attila. On the other side of the table, though, you got the Riftmaker and the Nashers onto Eika. Yike needs to be a little bit careful, but he is going to be A-okay. And now that second item has been finished up for Exakick. He's got that Gwynzu's Rage Blade, so he is going to be matching Attila in the item department, and the gold is still LDLC favored. It's still in their way, partly because they were able to take a top lane tower earlier on, 2 top lane towers, so they got that inner, which obviously gives that bonus gold as well. So definitely doing them some favors on that front. And Exakick, definitely not someone to scoff at. Very, very strong right now on the Kalista.
Yeah, I think this is where, again, like, yes, you're strong as Kalista, but you're kind of already taking a back foot in this game. Like, 2 items versus the 2.5 that we see for Attila. And you're starting to get the Zhonya's worked up for Tempt here as well. Like, Yike is kind of what you're relying on to provide a lot of that late game damage, but he's really struggling to set up in these fights because of people like Chasy with the Ornn ultimate, having Kasing putting in the tidal wave. Like, actually getting time to get free auto attacks into a spell for Ike is becoming quite tough. So I think this is where we're going to have to see how LDLC try to approach this next dragon. At the moment, just trying to get control of their own jungle, try and push inside, look for picks, but I don't think you're really wanting to push the boat too far here.
No, I think they need to be a little bit careful. This dragon spawning up sooner. A pick here loses so much pressure for LDLC to even think about contesting. Nice wave shove has come down from Ragner on the top side as Chasy chases LDLC off the river and deeper into their own territory. As X7 playing as a group, gonna just clear out this vision. Attila needs to be careful. He does have flashing cleanse, but he is the key target. A great chain of corruption comes down, and oh my word, Chasy's health bar is just flattened as Yike has the Heartbreaker away for the moment, looking to get the kills off. They're finding the resets. Tempt slowing the whole team down. Then Josh jumps in. Can they keep this fight going as Tempt is CC'd to hell, and Yike is impossible to deal with. He's able to hold out fast, and just like that, LDLC take out 3 crucial members of X7 and will turn towards the Baron.
And that's where this AP Varus shows what it's worth. The damage that you're able to get from these blighted stacks is unreal. When you look at the ult, it immediately applies 3 stacks. You get the Q. That's a ton of percentage HP damage immediately onto Chasy. Viking has already tossed himself into the backline, so he falls. And Attila, he's just hitting the tank. Ragner's like, yeah, just pump all that damage into me. You aren't getting through this health bar anytime soon. So Dragon will go to X7, but the Baron will go to LDLC.
I think also the big thing there is, you know, you look at how impactful Yike was, because he was just able to constantly draw the attention of Attila to try and finish him up, and then someone would go down and be able to steal their form, recover some health, and then Heartbreaker again for another reset. It was reset into reset into reset for Yike, and it made Attila had to spread his target selection out. If he'd focused Ragner, he could have killed him, but it was hard for him to focus Ragner when he also had to deal with Yike in his face. It was just very, very well played by Yike there. And this AP Varus, that do be scary. That do be very, very scary.
It do be working, but Viking got to see if he can try and interrupt that. Playing off on the side. LDLC don't have vision on where he is, which is why he's trying to hover. It will just get the blue ward onto him at the moment, and as LDLC try to get vision to see where this Rek'Sai is.
Question is what are LDLC going to get with this Baron? They need to pick up at least a couple of towers and get towards the base. They don't have to crack the base with this Baron, but they do need to take out these last 2 towers. As Kasing is going to be forced to flash Ragner. Basically just gets out as a freebie. As Eika throws out the chains, does connect, and the solar flare comes down immediately. Doss is going to be able to jump in forward. This Tempt is taken down. This time, Viking is absolutely flattened again. And X7, mistake after mistake, is starting to cost them the game here. Attila's fed, but the damage from Eika is too much for them to handle. And the Baron, I said it didn't have to crack the base, but it will crack it. Thanks to the mistake coming in from Tempt, getting himself caught out. Thanks to that missed position. Health bars are a little bit low on LDLC, so it could be a bit greedy for them to overstay. It looks like that will be the case, and they're just going to back off and be happy with this one inhibitor.
Eika is a monster on this Varus. Every time we look at these fights, his ultimates have been key to setting them up for LDLC. We got it with the Ornn burst out. Now he tries to connect Attila, finds Tempt, and immediately the rest of the team follows up. Tempt isn't given a chance. Yike goes golden in the backline as well as Viking goes in, so he gets baited into the fight. And you can already see, like, this fight's long over, and it's only just realization X7's face as they walk away.
25 minutes on the clock, and this gold lead has been blown wide open. And Chasy is going down. There is no contest for this. Oh, that's a lot of damage. I mean, he needs some magic resist to be fair, but even so, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, this is why this Varus build has really started to come into the meta. Like, being able to deal with these super tanks in the late game is just so incredibly strong. And now, LDLC off that TP, it wasn't about just getting the pick, it's about getting this pressure on this bot side of the map. Like, the Baron buff is just about worn out, but, I mean, 20 seconds on Chasy, next wave is here, and I mean, the rest of X7 aren't. LDLC might just get another inhibitor here.
This is going to be hard for them to deal with as well because Eika has that ultimate again. It's going to be a real threat for them. And Tempt, he can't get close enough because of the range of Eika to actually land a good chain. And yeah, they get some damage here onto DOS. I say some damage. They get a lot of damage onto DOS. Chains do connect. And Kasing's health bar is gone. Tempt goes golden. Maybe Attila can do something here. The bubble goes a little bit wider. They do pull in one. That's going to be the GA burnt out. And Yike will lose his life. No, he won't. He'll flash away. They chase in. They shut him down. Attila finds the kill. And finally, X7 scrapped together something after what has been a very, very rough mid game.
Yike couldn't get over the wall with the Heartbreaker, was hoping to try and escape, but Visions of Empire end up cutting him off, so they will get one for X7, but it feels like the damage is already done, right? Mid inhibitor cracked open, all the outer turrets gone for X7. They've become so easy now for LDLC to continue pushing that vision in, and when you ever try to contest it as X7, if you're not Chasy, like, you walk into Chains of Corruption, Zenith Blades, like anything at all on LDLC and you're going down.
It's going to be, this next dragon's going to be interesting, I think. Are X7 going to be able to contest it? Do they want to contest it? Because there is always a world where they take this dragon and then Elder comes up. Eika will one-shot anybody with that dragon. It's going to be hairy, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, at least with the way X7 are positioned, they're going to try and fight this. If they're going to... Oh my god!
That's not the perfect target, actually, because they find the turnaround. The Great Cleanse comes down. Exakick eats a bubble, but the team is zoned away. Viking has to run out. Tempt gonna pop himself the ultimate, tries to jump in. Joss goes low HP. Arrow's gonna do enough damage, and Yike gets a reset. Viking can't even get close to the action. He is gonna have to tunnel away to safety. Attila's incredibly low, and Exakick may just look to finish up Kasing. A great bubble does come out, and Kasing's able to get away, but Attila may just lose his life. The bubbles are gonna be enough. No, they're gonna chase for more. Attila falls down, and LDLC have done it. They not only broke X7's winning streak here in the group stage, they deny them first in the group. LDLC will rule Group B.
LDLC will take their spot. The #1 seed from the NFL will show that spring will repeat itself and take down X7.
Phenomenal game coming in from LDLC. It was all about that first 6 minutes. I'm not going to lie to you. Really, really clean. But no, overall, I mean, mid was surprising to me. I know AP Varus does a lot of damage, but I didn't expect it to be a kill lane. I thought it'd be a sit back, and then you just kill in the late game with all the burst you have. But there was a lot of attention going into that mid lane. It was very back and forth. And X7, they put up a better fight in this game than they did in the first game. There was some really good stuff going down. But that AP Varus, I think that just was the curveball for LDLC had up their sleeve for this tiebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, across the board, just really well executed by LDLC, right? You look at the, like, this didn't feel like this was like a, oh yes, let's play chess and like decide how we're going to move around the map. This was fisticuffs, let's just go, put them up, and we're just going to brawl. And I think in that kind of situation where you end up with this Varus getting accelerated, you can see like getting to a point where he was getting very, very strong with the Nashor's Tooth and the Riftmaker, deleting the Ornn. You're looking towards as well, like people like the Rek'Sai kind of just falling off a cliff because you end up with, you know, Viego getting accelerated with these early kills. The window in which X7 got to play around with Viking very quickly closed, and that's what I tried to touch on the early game, but this game was so chaotic, was despite the fact Viking was getting 3 kills in the early game, the Viego had actually done a really good job of getting some kills himself, like actually being able to farm up effectively, getting things like the Rift Herald and denying Viking that big lead. Like he was within a 400 gold pretty much the entire time when Viking was the only person with a gold lead on X7, and you can see it there. Viking just really struggling on this Rek'Sai to try and get into these fights, and it's kind of why we've seen Rek'Sai slip away from the meta. Like when you've got a bunch of tanks, you just have to try and get in and assassinate the backline, but there's so much peel on the champions that we see in the meta, so you don't really get to have that same effect as the Rek'Sai.
I really feel like it was a mistake from X7 to let Ragner get the Sejuani again. Yes, the burst from Eika was phenomenal, but like he just was consistently forcing, you know, Attila's cleanse early or zoning them out of the fight, and it was just such a nuisance on that tank. You could have given Ragner something else, denied him that, but I mean, this was the moment where, you know, I think X7 realized they made a mistake where their tank just evaporated. Like, there is no other word to describe other than evaporation. That was disgusting.
I think we're kind of seeing again that for X7, it's these like unusual picks that are kind of coming back to bite them. I think if you had something like a Poppy in the jungle here instead, like, you make life incredibly difficult for, I mean, pretty much everyone on this squad except for the Varus, right? Because everyone has a dash that is incredibly integral part of their kit. So I feel like for X7, like, there were options that they just weren't particularly happy to go towards, and it felt like they felt the need to go for early game aggression, go for early plays, because that was what they thought they needed to beat LDLC, but they never really gave themselves a chance. Like, even though they were going into these fights, I think LDLC fought better, like their front to back was much stronger. I think they were more adept at, okay, how do we want to set these up? Like, who's fighting who? Where are we fighting? Like, the decision making around that most of the time was better from LDLC, and unfortunately X7, they find themselves taking that second place after losing both games now to LDLC.
Yeah, it was you know, it was a very, very solid game coming in from LDLC. Obviously mistakes and things that they're going to want to look at going towards playoffs. I think X7, you know, they're going to be heartbroken with this because they expected to leave this group first. And I know when we spoke to Attila, he was very realistic and he said they are, you know, the LFL team. They're the first seed. They're a good team. And, you know, he was confident, but not cocky, which was nice, actually, because, you know, at the NLC finals, they were very, very confident they were going to win and they were kind of flaunting it. But here it was like, no, we respect these guys. We know that they are a very, very solid team. They did believe that they were capable of it. They drafted and they played in a way where they believed they were able to take that. But, you know, that game slipped away from them. And I think, like I said, the Varus was a bit of a curveball. I think Ragner on Sejuani was just something that shouldn't have been allowed. And I think I expect going into the playoffs, a lot of teams are gonna look towards that Sejuani, look to deny that. But we can see the overall standings now. We are done with Group B. LDLC 6-1 will leave in first, and then X7 will go out as the second seed out of Group B, 5-2 overall. A Go Rogue and an Orpheus Famagusta, unfortunately, are tied for third and fourth. So like I said earlier, there is no loser in this group. There's just 2 third places, but they are not going to be making it out of the play-ins, unfortunately. So it's been a good day. Group B has been exciting.
Yeah, and I think it's great to see kind of what we at least getting a hint of what we can expect for playoffs between these two teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's actually have a look at the overall day we've had. This was our first game of the day, LDLC versus Anorpheus, and Golden Toast started this game very, very fed on the Tristana. Started off with that 4-0 start, and he just looked. You said it to me. We were watching this game, you know, while the others were casting it, and you were like, Anorpheus, don't lose this.
Yeah, and then Ragner happened. Then Ragner came in and just was like, no, you lose this, and absolutely demolished them. And then X7 having a great game against Eika Rogue as well, kind of to move us on into the day as we got along. And then upset galore here for Anorpheus is able to take down Eika Rogue, deny them the opportunity at potentially forcing a tiebreaker, but it was not meant to be for the Ultra League representatives.
Yeah, and it was their first win of the tournament as well. So they'll be very happy to at least have gone out with a win, especially in such a stacked group. I mean, you have the NLC, who have been actually previously, like in the last couple of EU Masters, have been historically, you know, a pretty solid performing region. You obviously have the LFL and their first seed, which is, you know, no more's needed to be said about that. And then you have the Ultra League, you know, Poland, a region that has been historically so dominant within the tournament. So, you know, for Anorpheus to find one win in this group, sure, it's not, you know, enough to make it out of playoffs, sorry, but they'll be very happy with the fact that at least they got something. You know, I think a lot of these players got to showcase, you know, some real potential from some of them, and I think they're gonna be very happy with this one. I don't want to talk about this. That was a rough loss. Like, I'm okay to talk about the tiebreaker loss because I think that was just that was a tight game. It was a very interesting game, but I think the other one, that didn't happen. It wasn't real.
Yeah, I will just say for Eika Rug, I think it's a bit heartbreaking for Ultra League to see, you know, 0 tenacity at the moment, 0-3 in Group A, and then also having Eika Rug knocked out as well. Because as you say, like, historically, a very, very strong region, and it kind of feels like we're now getting to see, like, the LFL NLC show that is starting to pop up again and again. We had, like, an all LFL finals in spring, and it's nice to see teams like X7 being able to go toe-to-toe with the first seed in the LFL, but it definitely just feels like at least coming from the draft. I feel like, and it's always been a story with the LFL, is just they are so good at like understanding the meta, and they scrim against LEC teams. They start to figure out exactly like how they want to play the game and adapt to the meta extremely well. And when you've got the caliber of players that are on LDLC, it's not surprising that they were able to bounce back and bring it to that first spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. We can see the overall standings here in the groups. Obviously, Group A and Group C are still yet to play, but over on the other side, Group D, obviously Game Ward undefeated making out of their group, Dusty from the NLC being the other team to make it out. So that's those overall standings, but we obviously have Group A and Group C. I am so excited by these groups. They are very, very stacked. I mean, Unicorns of Love look really, really solid coming into the playoffs. I think we actually got to speak to some of the French teams in the first week. I believe it was Game Ward we spoke to, but they were very outspoken about how Unicorns of Love are like one of the teams who they've all got their eyes on to be a potential threat to all of them.
Yeah, and I mean, it'd be nice to see at least one of these groups not have an LFL team make the top spot, because at the moment it's looking a little bit likely. So all in on the UL hype train to at least have, you know, one of the four. But I think it does speak volumes to how strong the LFL has been recently, in the past as well. It definitely feels, as always, that they're the Region 2 beast. And unfortunately, NLC pipped to the finish line again, like we saw with Dusty. But we'll have to see what they can do, because this one, it stings a little, but it really is going to matter when they get into playoffs.
Yeah, I think it does, but you know, you've made it out of groups. I think that's the key thing right now for the likes of X7. Obviously, we've got a bunch of other teams to play still. We've got 2 more days of the group stages, so we'll be deciding, you know, who's making out of the other groups in the next coming days. But I think what we should do is reflect on our play of the day here at the EU Masters. So I hope we have that ready. I think I had that ready. There it is. Our play of the day. I mean, it's obvious who it is, right?
I mean, look, this was just absolutely nasty coming through. I mean, the pentakill coming through for Attila was so damn strong. 15 kills at the end of this game, and there was just nothing that Anorthosis could do to stop him.
Yeah, I mean, Attila, we're very lucky with EU Masters, because I swear we consistently get pentakills at this tournament. It's nice, but I think this might be the first time an NLC team has ever got a pentakill at EU Masters. Don't quote me on that, but really, really good stuff coming in, and that is your 1+ play of the day. I mean, well done. Attila looked very good on that Lucian. Even in that loss, he was looking pretty solid. It just, that game kind of slipped away from them. But I feel like that's something that a lot of teams will look at, because people have been banning the Zeri quite a lot, especially against Attila. So I feel like Lucian's going to be something they have to think about, because single that Nami, I mean, he is scary as hell. He just very, very good at landing those bubbles just so consistently. But let's have a look at the schedule. Let's see what's coming up tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll have Group C, be starting with SK Prime versus Heretics, and it'll be ending the day on BDS Academy versus Heretics. I am very excited by that final game. I think there's going to be some pretty good stuff going down there, because Heretics are a team who, just like Unicorns, I know a lot of teams have their eyes on them right now.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an absolute banger. And again, kind of getting to see what Heretics are capable of against BDS Academy, like, that is 100% the series to watch. And we'll have to see if Heretics can kind of get one back over BDS Academy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a good group. There's a lot on the line for all of these teams to obviously. There's always a lot of that. It's such a loaded sentence. It's like, of course, there's a lot on the line. We're like one day away.
There's
from
a lot on the line.
Playoffs.
We have a series on our hands. Like, whatever other cliches we can throw in here, you know.
Look, I'm hot. It's humid. It's getting to me finally. I'm just throwing out like keywords. You know, I'm just filling out. You know, you're filling out that essay, and you're like extending the sentence, just overly describing stuff just to fill out your word count before you hand it in. But yeah, I mean, Group C is going to be exciting. It's going to be, you know, we got some very, very loaded teams. Heretics, like I said, just like UOL, When we spoke to French teams, there's been 2 teams that have been mentioned that aren't LFL teams, because mostly it's like, yeah, it'll just be us versus LDLC or us versus BDS, you know. But they go, oh, but actually, UOL and Heretics do look hella scary, though. So I think those are two teams who you definitely don't want to be missing. And we've got those coming up over the next 2 days as well. So you guys at home are blessed as you get to see some teams who potentially the LFL upset, right?
I mean, be amazing to see. I'd be happy to see if we can get the LFL kind of like, look, the LFL clearly phenomenal region, but you kind of want to see them knocked down a little bit. You want to see them knocked off the peg a little bit. See someone else kind of get their spot on the throne for a little while, because it's been French dominated for so long.
I mean, I would say it's good for the LFL. If they lose, it means they have to it will drive improvement. It's not that I want to see them fail. I want to see them grow. I just want to see someone else grow as well. Guys, anyway, that is going to do it here for us at the Amazon EU Masters. Thank you very much for watching. It's been wonderful to be back with you, Dagda, after what, 4 years, 3-4 years?
Yeah,
we'll be back tomorrow for the same time for Group C, and we'll see who's going to be making it to playoff out of that group. So until then, good night, and we'll see you later.